Today we're building an 80s inspired animated neon text title. I've included a free download to the background that I use in the description, so if you want to follow along, grab that and let's get started. Okay, first things first, we're starting off in the edit page, go into the effects tab and grab a Fusion comp and pop that on the timeline. Then we'll jump straight over into Fusion. Okay, so we're going to start off by grabbing a background, pop that into the media out, then we'll connect a merge to that, jump into the media pool here and grab the background that we're using. We can just pop that in and it'll automatically bring it in with a media in. So if we connect that up, and then we're going to need to resize that. Let's just grab a transform, open the inspector and get that to the right size. There we go. Okay, so let's pop another merge on here and then we're going to start adding our text. We'll grab text node, pop that straight into the merge, write our text in there. Cool. For this one I'm using a font called Daughter of Fortune, but really you can use any font that has a handwritten kind of look to it for this. Let's just scale that up. That looks about right. And then I'll just jump into the layout and just move that up a little bit. There we go, something like that. Okay, so we're going to change the color. I've already got some colors in here. That's the hex color if you want to copy that. It's 39F9FF. Okay, so now we're going to add a Gaussian blur followed by a glow. The Gaussian blur, let's just take the strength up a little bit to around 0.5, and then the glow, we'll make the glow size 38. Cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of that and we're going to copy it and paste it. Then if we highlight this glow and just add another merge in there, let's just tidy this up a little bit. Then we connect this new stack to the green foreground input. For this one we don't actually need the Gaussian blur, so we'll get rid of that. Just have the text and the glow. Okay, that's creating these two layers where you've got the hard edge text on the top and then a diffused kind of lighting look underneath that to create the effect of neon lights. For the text we're just going to change the color, make that a significantly lighter blue, so that's D0FDF7 for the hex code on that. What I also want to do is come into the shading tab, click on number 2 here and enable that. That's going to add an outline and we'll just modify that a little bit. So we'll change the color to blue, the same blue that we've used for the other text node, so that's 39F9FF. Change the opacity to 0.4 and we'll change the thickness to 0.01. So that just helps to give this subtle kind of blue edge to the lettering to give it that more kind of neon look. So for the glow on this one, we'll just modify that a little bit. We'll take that down to more like 15 and the glow itself take down to 0.7. Cool, okay, that's looking good. Let's now also add a drop shadow to this. So for the shadow strength, I think more like about 1 should do it, and then we'll bring the angle over to the left. Drop distance a bit closer to the letters, I think that'll look nice. And then we'll also bring the blur down a little bit as well, make it a little bit more defined, something more like 0.3, around about there. That's looking good. Okay, so that's our text done. Next part, we're going to add a line underneath. So if you select merge 2 and then add another merge, then we'll grab a polygon and we need to pipe that into a background so that we can change the color. Then after that, we're also going to add blur to this one and also a glow as well. And then what we'll do is we'll just chuck a couple more merges on here because there's going to be a few layers to this one. Hook all of those up and then into this merge here. That's cool. Okay, so if we select the polygon, if you click and then click and drag to make a curve, click and drag to make another curve, and then click over here. Then we're just going to go in and just sort of finesse this a little bit, get it looking exactly how we want. And if you need to adjust individual handles on this, just hold down the command key and then you can adjust those. Okay, that's fine. So let's just change the border width to 0.004. And the background colour, we're also going to use this teal 39F9FF. The blur, 0.55, and the glow, we'll take that all the way up to 78.5. Take the glow up a little bit, 0.9. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll take this and copy, Command C and paste, Command V, and then paste that again. So we've got 3 copies of this now. Okay, so let's hook these up into the green inputs of these 2 merges. So this middle one, we're actually going to get rid of the blur there, and we're going to replace it. If you highlight the background so that this goes in line, and then we'll replace it with an edge detect. And then for this last one, we're also going to get rid of the Gaussian blur. That's cool. Okay, so the middle one, we'll change the border width to 0.003. Then the edge detect, we're going to change the edge width to 0.2, the brightness to 1.6, and the blur to 0.04. Let's go over to this last polygon line here, and for this one we're going to change the level to 0.7. Then we're going to go into the background and change the colour to this very light blue, so that's D0FDF7, and the glow, we'll change the glow size to 7, and everything else can stay the same. Okay, so all we need to do now is copy the drop shadow over, and that just means that then both of these elements, the lettering and the line, have exactly the same drop shadow for continuity. Okay, let's just tidy up our node tree a little bit here. Okay, so that completes our look. Now we're going to start on the animation, and we'll do the lettering first. So let's grab a mask paint, and then what we're going to do is we're going to hook this up to both of these texts at the same time. Then come into the mask control and select invert so we can see what we're doing, and then we go back into the controls. Come up here and make sure you've got the stroke tool selected. Go into controls, and then we just want to make sure that our brush size is right, basically. So for this part, let's expand this right up. So I've got the soft brush shape, and I'll take the size up a little bit, something like that. You want to make sure that it's going to cover each part of the letters, so look at it on the thickest parts of the letters, and then we're going to take the softness right down to something like that. And then the other thing you want to make sure you do is in the stroke animation, change this to right on. So now go to the very start of the timeline here, and then we basically want to trace over these letters, go all the way across, but the important thing is to not let go of your mouse the whole time that you're doing this. Just drag over, even where this gap is, just tracing across the letters as if you were writing them. So that's created all these keyframes along the bottom here. But what we want to do is we want to come into the keyframe manager. Just go into this little menu here and make sure you've got show only selected tools, and then make sure that you've got the mask paint selected here. And now when you open these up, open up stroke 2 here, and these are all of our keyframes. So if we just select all of those like that, so they go yellow, and right click on them and hit time stretching. Then what you can do is you can drag these all the way down like this, because this is basically our composition length here, so they're going way over the length. And then what we want to do is we want to actually zoom right into this. I want it so that they go from 0 to frame 20 here. There we go. Cool. So now if we come back into the mask and uncheck invert, then when we play it, it draws on our text. Cool. Okay, so now we want to animate this line on as well. So for that we can close the keyframe manager, and what we'll do for the polygon lines is go to frame 28 and in the polygon just pop a keyframe on the length, and do that for all 3 polygons. We want them to have exactly the same animation. Then we come back to frame 20 and drop the length down to 0. Now if we select all of these polygons, come into the spline editor, select these 2 points and just hit Option S, and that'll just add a curve to the animation, making it look a little bit more natural. And that's it, all of the animation done. So if we play that back, here's what we've got. Nice. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.